We're back with another deep dive into the heart of Eagles territory, and this one is packed with the kind of insight that makes you see football in a whole new light. The Philadelphia Eagles are preparing for the 2025 season with serious confidence, and one of the biggest reasons for that is Vic Fangio. The mastermind on defense has quietly, or maybe not so quietly anymore, put together one of the most effective defensive units in the entire NFL. And what we're about to break down goes way beyond box scores and highlight reels. We're talking about game-altering schemes, eye-opening stats, and a level of coaching that has completely transformed this Eagles defense from bottom tier to elite in a single year. Now, let's rewind just a bit. Last season, this defense was already making noise. A lot of fans remember how they completely shut down Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in that unforgettable Super Bowl matchup. They didn't just slow down one of the most dangerous offenses. In the league, they suffocated them. They confused Andy Reid, rattled Mahomes, and made every snap a nightmare. But here's what's wild. When you peel back the layers and look into the numbers, you realize it wasn't just about one big game. This was a season-long statement, a consistent pattern of dominance built on one of the most innovative defensive philosophies in the league. Warren Sharp, a name that anyone serious about football analysis is familiar with, recently released his annual NFL preview. And when he broke down the Eagles' defense, the takeaways were nothing short of stunning. If you haven't checked out his work, this is someone who doesn't just rattle off stats. He gives context, trends, spending habits, cap strategies, and performance metrics that actually matter. His preview book is loaded with next-level breakdowns. And when he turned his focus to Philadelphia, the praise was off the charts. Start with the basics. The Eagles allowed fewer than Trey's Mill passing yards last year, the lowest in the league. Opposing quarterbacks completed just over 62% of their passes, ranking Philadelphia 6th in that category. Only Vante Adoy's touchdown passes were surrendered, again 6th best, and the average passer rating against them, 82.5. That's the third lowest in the entire NFL. These aren't just solid numbers. These are dominant metrics, especially in a league that's more pass-heavy than it has ever been. What makes this even more impressive is the financial context. In 2024, the Eagles ranked 27th in defensive spending. This year, 30th. That's right. Philadelphia is spending less on their defense than almost every other team in the NFL. Yet their production on that side of the ball has never been higher. That's not just smart budgeting. That's elite roster construction, thanks to Howie Roseman and his front office. They're getting the absolute most out of every dollar, and they're doing it while building a defense that's young, fast, and dangerous. Of course, with low spending comes turnover. The Eagles lost more than 4 mil defensive snaps from last year's roster. Big names are gone. Darius Slay, Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Isaiah Rodgers. These are cornerstone players, veterans, leaders. But what remains is a system, a culture, a defensive philosophy rooted in discipline, adaptability, and relentless execution. All traits that trace back to Vic Fangio. And it's not just about who's gone. It's about who's stepping in. Rookies like Quinton Mitchell and Cooper DeJean didn't just fill holes, they excelled in critical roles. Starting 2 rookies in your secondary is always a gamble, but it paid off in a big way. Philadelphia's pass defense was number 1 in success rate, holding offenses to a míseros 38% success rate on pass plays. They also led the league in yards allowed per attempt, just 6. That's lockdown football, and when you compare this to where the Eagles were just a year earlier, the transformation is jaw-dropping. In 2023, under Sean Desai and Matt Patricia, the defense was a mess. They ranked 30th in defensive points per drive, 30th in third down conversion rate, 29th in 3-and-out rate, 31st in red zone defense. It was bad, really bad. But fast forward to 2024 under Fangio, and the turnaround is historic. 2nd in defensive points per drive, 1st in 3-and-out rate, 3rd in punts per drive, 5th in red zone defense. That's not just improvement, that's a complete overhaul. And the change is even more remarkable when you look at situational football. 3rd downs, for example. In dos mil veinte trades, Philly was dead last on third down passes, allowing over 42% conversions. They were also dead last in success rate, next to last in EPA per play, and bottom 3 in yards per attempt, and touchdown to interception ratio. Fast forward to dos mil veinte cuatro, and under Fangio's system, the Eagles flipped all those categories. Number 2 in third down conversion rate, number 1 in success rate, top 3 in EPA, top 10 in every major passing state on third down. That's elite level adjustment and coaching. And here's what makes Fangio's approach so unique. While most of the NFL is going one direction, heavy on cover 2, man blitzes, hybrid schemes, Fangio is zagging in 2024. His defense used zone coverage on 73% of passing downs, the 9th highest in the league. But unlike the rest of the league, which leans heavily on cover 2, the Eagles used it at the lowest rate in the NFL. Instead, they leaned into cover 6, the highest rate in the league, and mixed in quarters coverage at a high clip to keep offenses guessing. They also played cover 3 at the 9th highest rate. It's a blend of disguises, rotations, and subtle adjustments that force offenses to be patient and precise. And very few are built to do that consistently. Think about the philosophy behind it. Fangio's defense isn't built to hunt splash plays. It's built to eliminate them. The idea is to force offenses to work their way down the field, play after play, without making mistakes. Most teams can't do that. They'll get impatient, they'll take a risk, they'll miss a read. And that's where the Eagles pounce. It's death by 1,000 cuts, but for the offense. And once you get into the red zone, it's a wall. Last year, the Eagles went from 31st in red zone defense to top 5. That's a monumental leap. Even more fascinating is how Fangio completely changes the way teams approach third downs. While the league average blitz rate on third down hovers around 29%, Fangio had the Eagles blitzing just 19% of the time. Second lowest in the NFL. Man coverage, 29th in usage. Instead, he relies on zone, particularly cover 6 and quarters. On third downs, the Eagles played cover 6 at the highest rate in the league, almost 24%. Some quarters at over 21%, also a league high. And they barely used cover 2 or 2-man. Less than 1% of third down plays were cover 2. None were 2-man. Let that sink in. An entire defensive philosophy built on doing the opposite of what most of the league is doing, and it's working. And here's the kicker. This defense doesn't just hold up on paper. It holds up in the biggest moments. Remember that Super Bowl against Kansas City? Mahomes didn't know what hit him. The Eagles didn't blitz, and they still wrecked that. Chiefs' offensive line. They forced 3 turnovers, a strip sack, a red zone pick, and a pick 6, all without sending extra rushers, all while playing zone. That's how powerful Fangio's scheme can be when executed correctly. Personnel-wise, there's obviously concern. You lose guys like Josh Sweat and Brandon Graham, that's not easy to replace. But Nolan Smith and Jix Hunt are next in line. Moro Ojomo could end up being even better than Milton Williams. Kaylee Ringo has shown flashes that suggest he can step up in a big way. The depth might be a little shaky, but the talent is there, and more importantly, the system is intact. And as long as Fangio is the one calling the shots, this defense is going to be tough, really tough. Philadelphia isn't just surviving these off-season losses. They're positioning themselves to thrive. Thanks to a smart front office, a head coach who lets his coordinators cook, and a defensive mind who might just be the best in the business. What Vic Fangio did in just 1 year should be studied. It's not about flashy plays or high-priced stars. It's about efficiency, discipline, and making the other team beat themselves. That's winning football. And that's exactly what this Eagles defense is bringing into the 2025 season. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Is the Philadelphia Eagles' defense on the verge of a major resurgence? Rumors are swirling that the Eagles have made 2 blockbuster signings that could dramatically reshape their defensive backfield. Sources suggest that the team is bringing in Greg Newsome and Asante Samuel Jr., moves that have ignited excitement and speculation among fans and analysts alike. Newsome, a talented cornerback known for his athleticism and lockdown coverage skills, has been highly regarded since his college days. His ability to read offenses and disrupt passing plays could bring much-needed stability to the Eagles' secondary, which has struggled at times in recent seasons. Meanwhile, Asante Samuel Jr., the son of the former NFL star, has quickly made a name for himself as a fierce competitor with a knack for making game-changing plays. Adding Samuel Jr. would not only bring skill, but also a strong football pedigree that could inspire the entire defense. The buzz around these signings is hard to ignore. If the rumors prove true, Philadelphia might be laying the groundwork for a defensive turnaround that could propel them into serious contention next season. With the Eagles' offense already showing flashes of brilliance, bolstering the defense with these two could create a balanced team capable of challenging the league's elite. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet, and official confirmations are still awaited. But the mere possibility of these acquisitions has already energized the fan base and sparked debates across sports media platforms. Could this be the start of a new era for the Eagles' defense? Only time will tell. But for now, the whispers are loud and hope is high in Philadelphia. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.